friends, welcome back. It's Isabel, and today we're going to do the first of what I hope will be a series of limited color palettes. Obviously, I'm not the first one to ever have this idea. It's nothing new, but I thought it'd be a really fun way to paint. And this one actually was kind of accidental. I was really inspired by Draw This in Your Style by Sandra Bigotti Art. I completely butchered that last name, but I will have her linked in the description. And her version was blue and orange, and I wasn't really feeling that, but I really liked the concept. So I was doing some thumbnails, and I just kind of put this pink and this ultramarine next to each other, and I was like, yes, this is what I have to paint with. So most of the piece was painted with just ultramarine, which is that warm blue, and Madder Lake, which is the pink-ish color. These are both White Nights colors, by the way. And then in the hair, I wanted a little bit cooler of a blue, so I did add a bright blue later in the piece. Like I said, this was kind of accidental, but I figured it worked for a limited palette video because those are literally the only two colors I used. Usually I mix a lot more colors, but I really have been enjoying working with a more limited color palette. Not necessarily working with a limited number of, watercolors that I can mix, but just staying within one range of colors. So last week's video was the greenish teal kind of color palette, and that actually had a surprising number of different watercolors that I incorporated, if that makes sense. So I used a lot of colors from my palette, but the color range is quite small in the final painting, but there's a lot of little variations. So I've really been enjoying that because it makes it so that I don't really have to think very hard about where specific colors are going to go, because watercolor is a transparent medium, right? So if you put down an orange and then you decide, oh, actually I would rather that area be a cool blue, you can go over it if you catch it early enough, but it's not going to be that vibrant color. And I really have lately been enjoying having bright, punchy colors in my artwork, but also having them be cohesive. And I've really been quite satisfied with the work that I've been creating lately. I hope that doesn't sound too stuck up or egotistical, but I really have. I've been quite proud of the work that I'm making. And I'm using the word quite in the American sense of very much so. I've read somewhere that there was a linguistic difference between the American use of quite and the British use of quite. So I mean that in the overly exaggerated American way, because we're Americans, we need everything to be big and punchy and over the top. Anyway, that was a quick little linguistics detour, but I have been happy with the direction that my work is going, at least in my sketchbook. I tried to do a bigger piece, and I was not in the right headspace. Usually painting calms me down, but I've been in this headspace lately where I just can't bring myself to paint. It feels too unpredictable and too uncontrollable. So I've been doing a lot of sketching just straight with pen, which you might think, well, that's pretty unpredictable because you can't erase, but I've actually been finding it quite relaxing. There you go again, using the word quite too much. Anyway, I really like how the hair turned out on this one. You might have noticed, especially if you follow me on Instagram, that I've been kind of avoiding painting hair, which is funny because when I did a lot more realistic, pencil work, I would always really get into the hair, and that was like one of my favorite things to do, was just all the little tiny strands of hair. But I don't have the patience to do hair anymore. I don't know. And I'm glad that I'm not, overworking the hair or anything, because it would make it quite, gosh, now I'm so aware of every time I say the word quite. This is a problem. If the hair was very detailed, it would draw focus away from the face, especially the eyes, which is what I really want to highlight in most of my paintings. I probably should try to make a painting that doesn't focus on the eyes. Well, I've made a couple, but not with the direct intent of that. But I just think eyes show so much emotion, and that's really what I love to focus on, and I love painting them. And I think one of the ways that you can really draw attention to a specific part of a piece is to render it out more than other things. If I rendered the hair a lot, then it would draw focus away from the eyes, which is what I want the viewer to focus on, at least in most of my pieces. I was actually talking to a friend, and this friend knows who they are because this is the second video that I've mentioned them in, so hi. I was talking to a friend about eyes and focusing eyes, and I mentioned this one tip that I heard, and I don't know who I heard it from. It's one of the artists that I watch religiously here on YouTube said it, but they said that really a better way to paint, and this is not their wording, obviously, they worded it much more eloquently than I can, but they said one of the ways to really make a painting feel alive is to just render out one eye and make that one eye the focus, because when you're looking at somebody and you're looking them in the eyes and making eye contact, you can only focus on one eye, and you can only focus on one specific thing, really. So it's almost like you're making an illusion of people's vision. Like you're accentuating the natural way that we see things and forcing their eyes to focus on one specific spot. And so that tip obviously applies for things other than just painting eyes. I'm saying eyes a lot here. You want to draw the viewer's eye to a specific spot. Oftentimes that spot is a single eye. And again, with noticing all the words, okay, oh my goodness, Isabel, get some more vocabulary. I have been really enjoying the look of just rendering out one eye and having the others quite foggy and misty almost. I think Chris Hong Art does a really good job of this. She often paints with a watercolor base quite loosely and then goes over it with colored pencil and renders out the details, and I think her style is absolutely gorgeous. I love it so much. In this piece, I had 4 eyes, so oh my goodness, I am focusing so much on my words right now. Okay, there were 4 eyes in this piece, so I kind of just focused on all of them because I felt like it. But you'll notice that the 2 that are in the middle are more rendered out than the 2 on the edges. And I did that, just talking technique here, I did that by having more darker values in those areas and also more saturated values, especially on the face that's mostly pink. So the face on the right, I went in with pretty concentrated pink pigment, which would be the Madder Lake pigment, and just really got in the corner and made that bright and dark. Building contrast is a good way to define a specific area of a piece. So yeah, I guess this video kind of turned into me rambling about linguistics and also talking about how to focus a viewer's eye on a specific place. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that rambly little talk and the first of hopefully a couple limited color palette videos. I already have some ideas for specific combinations that I like, but if you have a specific combo that you'd like to see, let me know down in the comments. I really appreciate you all sticking around. Oh, also, one other thing that I wanted to know is what your preferred video length is. This one's a bit shorter than I usually do, so if you prefer super long videos like 40 minutes, I can maybe do that, maybe. Or if you prefer under 10 minutes, 10 to 20, let me know in the comments. Alright, that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Alright, bye bye, enjoy your day.